Poor bartender rejected the billionaire heiress 3 times. She said, "I don't give up." Hello everyone, and welcome back to Romance Rewind Stories. Before we dive into today's incredible story, I have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying these heartwarming tales, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. It's quick, it's free, and it's the best way to support us in bringing you more emotional romance stories. And here's something I'd love to know. Where are you watching from today? Drop your city or country in the comments below. I always enjoy seeing our amazing community from around the world. Oh, and if this story touches your heart, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps us grow and reach more people who love these kinds of tales. Now, let's get into today's story. Poor bartender rejected the billionaire heiress 3 times. She said, "I don't give up." The first time Lennox Sterling asked Cade Mercer out, he was wiping down the bar at the Velvet Room, an upscale lounge where he worked 6 nights a week to support his sick mother and put himself through night school. It was 11 p.m. on a Thursday, and he'd been on his feet for 7 hours straight. "Another whiskey sour," came a voice that was already becoming familiar. Smooth, confident, with an edge of amusement that suggested its owner was used to getting what she wanted. Cade looked up to find Lennox Sterling watching him with those striking violet eyes. Yes, actually violet. Whether from contacts or genetics, he wasn't sure. She'd been coming to the bar for 3 weeks now, always alone, always ordering the same drink, always sitting in the corner booth where she could observe everything. He knew who she was. Everyone did. Lennox Sterling, 29-year-old heiress to the Sterling Hotel's empire, worth somewhere in the billions, and featured regularly in society pages alongside various unsuitable dates her family apparently disapproved of. "Coming right up," Cade said, already mixing her drink with practiced efficiency. At 31, he'd been bartending for a decade and could make anything without thinking about it. When he set the glass in front of her, Lennox didn't immediately pick it up. Instead, she leaned forward, her designer dress cut low enough to be distracting, her expression direct and unapologetic. "Have dinner with me," she said. Not a question. A statement. Cade blinked. "Excuse me?" "Dinner. Tomorrow night. I'll pick you up at 8. "I work tomorrow night," Cade said, caught between amusement and disbelief. "And every night. I'm a bartender, Miss Sterling. We don't get weekends off. Then breakfast, or lunch, or coffee at 3 a.m. I'm flexible." Lennox smiled, and it was devastating. Confident, sexy, the smile of a woman who knew exactly how attractive she was. "I like you. I want to take you out. What do you say?" "I say no," Cade replied, turning to serve another customer before she could see his face flush. "But thank you for the offer." When he returned, Lennox was still sitting there, looking more intrigued than insulted. "Did you just reject me?" "Yes." "People don't reject me," she observed, taking a sip of her drink. "Then consider it a new experience," Cade said dryly. "Character building." Lennox laughed, a real laugh, surprised and delighted. "I like you even more now. Most men would have said yes immediately or stammered about how unworthy they are. You just rejected me like it was nothing." "Because it is nothing," Cade said, though his heart was hammering. "You're bored, rich, and slumming it in a bar where people like me work. You'll get tired of the novelty in a week and move on to the next shiny thing. I'm not interested in being someone's entertainment." Something flickered in Lennox's eyes. Hurt, maybe, or respect. "That's quite an assumption about me." "Am I wrong?" Cade challenged. Lennox was quiet for a moment, studying him. Then, "Fair enough. I have earned that reputation. But you're wrong about one thing. You're not entertainment. You're interesting. There's a difference." "Oh, still no," Cade said, but gentler this time. "We'll see," Lennox replied, leaving a $50 tip on a $15 drink. "I don't give up easily." The second time Lennox asked him out was 2 weeks later. Cade was leaving the hospital after visiting his mother, a daily ritual between his morning classes and evening shifts. He was exhausted, emotionally drained from watching his vibrant mother waste away from cancer, and the last thing he expected was to find Lennox Sterling leaning against his beat-up 15-year-old Honda. "How did you find me?" Cade asked, too tired to be properly surprised. "I'm a billionaire," Lennox said with a slight smile. "I have resources. How's your mother?" That stopped Cade in his tracks. "How do you know about my mother?" "Because I asked about you," Lennox said simply. "I wanted to understand why a man with your intelligence and presence is working as a bartender instead of doing something that uses that criminology degree you're 2 semesters away from completing." Cade felt anger flash through his exhaustion. "You investigated me?" "I researched you," Lennox corrected. "There's a difference. And I learned that your mother has stage 4 lymphoma, that you're paying for her treatment and medications out of pocket because her insurance is garbage, and that you're working 70-hour weeks while taking night classes because you want to be a detective. Did I miss anything?" "Yeah," Cade said flatly. "You missed the part where that's none of your damn business." "You're right," Lennox agreed, pushing off from his car. "It's not. But I'm making it my business because I want to help." "I don't need your charity," Cade said, moving to get in his car. Lennox's hand on his arm stopped him. Her touch was gentle, not restraining. "Not charity, a loan, or a job, or just, let me take you to dinner, Cade. One meal. Let me get to know you beyond what I learned from research." Please got to him. It sounded genuine, vulnerable, nothing like the confident woman who'd propositioned him at the bar. "Why?" Cade asked, turning to face her. "Why me? You could have anyone. Why chase a broke bartender who's rejected you twice?" "Because you rejected me twice," Lennox said. "Because you looked at me like I was just a person, not a bank account or a connection. Because when I sit at that bar and watch you work, I see someone who's kind to difficult customers, who remembers regulars' orders, who's working himself to death for someone he loves. That's attractive. That's worth pursuing." "I'm not a project," Cade said quietly. "I'm not some noble poor person for you to rescue so you can feel good about yourself." "I know," Lennox said. "But maybe I'm lonely. Maybe I'm tired of people who only want me for my money. Maybe I looked at you and felt something I haven't felt in years. Genuine interest in someone. Is that so hard to believe?" Cade studied her face, looking for deception or pity. He found neither. Just honesty and something that looked like hope. "One dinner," he said finally. "But I'm paying. And if you offer to pay for my mother's treatment or my tuition or anything else, I walk out. Deal?" Lennox's smile was brilliant. "Deal. Friday night? You said you don't work Fridays. How do you know? Never mind. Resources." Cade shook his head. "Friday. But somewhere normal. No 5-star restaurants where they serve food on weird sculptures." "I know a place that serves the best burgers in the city," Lennox offered. "Very normal. I promise." That Friday, Lennox showed up at Cade's modest apartment in jeans and a simple sweater, her usual designer armor replaced by something that made her look younger, more approachable. She drove them in a car that, while nice, wasn't the Bentley she probably owned. "You're trying not to intimidate me with your wealth," Cade observed as they drove. "Is it working?" Lennox asked. "I'm still intimidated, but I appreciate the effort." The burger place was exactly what Lennox had promised. A hole-in-the-wall dive with questionable decor but incredible food. Cade watched Lennox take a massive bite of her burger, getting sauce on her face, and felt something in his chest loosen. "You're really eating it," he said, surprised. "What did you think I'd do? Order a salad and pick at it?" Lennox wiped her mouth with a napkin. "I'm a human being, Cade. I get hungry. I like greasy food. I'm just usually not allowed to eat it in public because someone's always watching with a camera." "That sounds exhausting," Cade admitted. "It is," Lennox agreed. "It's why I liked coming to your bar. No one pays attention to me there. I'm just another customer. It was peaceful. Is that why you kept coming back? For peace? At first, Lennox said. Then I kept coming back because of you. The way you handled drunk customers with patience. The way you'd listen to the old man who came in every Tuesday to talk about his late wife. The way you'd slip extra cherries to the little girl whose parents brought her in for her birthday. You're a good person, Cade. That's rare in my world. You don't know me well enough to say that, Cade protested. Then let me get to know you better, Lennox said. Tell me about your mother, about your dreams, about why you want to be a detective instead of something that pays better. So Cade talked. About his mother's diagnosis, about the medical bills that kept mounting, about how he'd had to drop out of the police academy because he couldn't afford it and support her, about his plan to finish his degree and reapply, to become the kind of detective who actually helped people instead of just processing paperwork. You're going to be great at it, Lennox said with certainty. You have the empathy and the determination. But Cade, you're going to burn out before you get there if you keep working like this. What choice do I have? Cade asked, frustration bleeding through. My mother needs treatment. I need to finish school. That requires money I don't have. Let me help, Lennox said quietly. We had a deal, Cade reminded her. You said if you offered money, I'd walk out. I know. And I'm breaking that deal because I can't sit here watching you destroy yourself when I have resources to help. Not as charity. As an investment. Let me pay for your mother's treatment. You can pay me back after you become a detective, with interest if it makes you feel better. Why would you do that? Cade asked, suspicion and hope warring in his chest. Because I can, Lennox said simply. Because I have more money than I'll ever spend, and you need it. Because watching good people suffer when I could help feels wrong. And maybe because I'm hoping that if I help, you'll give me a chance. A real chance, not just one dinner. Cade should have said no, should have maintained his pride, his independence. But looking at Lennox, seeing genuine care in her eyes, not pity, he found himself nodding. I'll pay you back, he said firmly. Every cent. I know you will, Lennox said. You're too stubborn not to. The third time Lennox asked Cade out, or rather the third time he rejected her, came a month later. She'd paid for his mother's treatment, true to her word. The cancer was responding, his mother was getting stronger, and Cade was falling for Lennox Sterling hard, which was exactly why he had to end this. We need to talk, he said when she came to the bar. It was a quiet Tuesday, few customers, perfect for the conversation he'd been dreading. That's never a good opening, Lennox observed, but there was tension in her voice. Whatever this is between us, it needs to stop, Cade said, forcing the words out. You paid for my mother's treatment. I'm grateful, but I can't date someone I'm indebted to. It's not right. The power dynamic is too unequal. So you're rejecting me, Lennox said. Again, that's 3 times now. Yes, Cade said, even though it was killing him. I'm sorry, but this can't work. You're a billionaire. I'm a bartender with crushing debt, including debt to you now. We're from different worlds. It's not sustainable. Lennox was quiet for a long moment. Then, can I tell you a story? Lennox, please. Just hear me out. Cade nodded reluctantly. When I was 16, my parents tried to choose who I'd marry, Lennox said. Some appropriate heir to another fortune. I refused. Said I'd choose my own partners, my own life. They said I'd never find anyone who wanted me for me, that I was too difficult, too independent, too much. So I spent the next decade proving them wrong by dating all the wrong people, artists, musicians, anyone inappropriate. Showing them I wouldn't be controlled. What does this have to do with us? Cade asked. Everything, Lennox said, because with you, for the first time, I'm not dating someone to prove a point. I'm not rebelling or trying to shock anyone. I like you. Really, genuinely like you. The way you challenge me. The way you're not impressed by my money. The way you care about your mother and your dreams and doing the right thing. And yes, I paid for her treatment. Not to obligate you, but because I wanted to help someone I care about. If that makes you uncomfortable, I understand. But don't use it as an excuse to push me away because you're scared. I'm not scared, Cade protested. Yes, you are, Lennox said gently. You're terrified that I'll realize you're not enough, that I'll get bored and leave like you predicted, that this is too good to be true. But Cade, I've been rejected by you 3 times, and I'm still here. Do you know? Because I don't give up on things that matter, Lennox said, and you matter. This matters. So I'm asking one more time, will you give us a real chance? Not as a billionaire and a bartender, but as 2 people who like each other. Who could maybe be something more if you'd stop pushing me away? Cade really looked at her, saw the vulnerability beneath the confidence, the hope in her eyes, the way her hands trembled slightly as she waited for his answer. I'm falling in love with you, he admitted. That's why this scares me, because I can't afford to lose someone else I love. You won't lose me, Lennox said. Not if you let me in. Not if you trust that I'm here for you. Not for rebellion or novelty. Just you. What if it doesn't work? Cade asked. Then it doesn't work, Lennox said. But what if it does? What if we're perfect for each other, and you're going to throw that away because you're afraid? Cade made his decision. He came around the bar, pulled Lennox to her feet, and kissed her. Deep, desperate, full of all the feelings he'd been holding back. When they broke apart, Lennox was smiling. So that's a yes? That's a yes, Cade confirmed. But I have conditions. Name them. I'm still paying you back for my mother's treatment. I'm still finishing school. I'm still working, though maybe not 70 hours a week now. And you have to be patient with me. I've never dated a billionaire before. I'm going to mess this up sometimes. And I've never dated someone who genuinely doesn't care about my money, Lennox said. I'll mess it up too. We'll figure it out together. 6 months later, Cade graduated with his criminology degree, with Lennox and his much healthier mother in the audience cheering louder than anyone else. A year after that, he was accepted into the police academy, his dream finally within reach. And 2 years after that first rejection, Cade proposed, not with an expensive ring, but with his grandmother's simple gold band, and a promise that he'd love her for who she was, not what she had. You rejected me 3 times, Lennox said through happy tears. I thought you'd never come around. I'm stubborn, Cade admitted, but so are you. You wouldn't let me push you away. I told you, Lennox said, kissing him, I don't give up, especially not on love. At their wedding, Cade's mother gave a toast that made everyone cry. My son rejected the woman of his dreams 3 times because he was afraid he wasn't good enough for her. And she kept coming back because she knew what he was too stubborn to see, that he was more than good enough. He was perfect. Thank you, Lennox, for not giving up on my stubborn son. Thank you for raising a stubborn son worth not giving up on, Lennox replied. And as they danced at their reception, Cade thought about those 3 rejections, born from fear and pride and the belief that they were too different to work. He'd been wrong. They weren't too different. They were perfectly balanced, her confidence teaching him to accept help, his integrity teaching her that not everyone wanted something from her. I love you, he whispered against her ear. I know, Lennox said with that confident smile that had first caught his attention. I've known since the first rejection. I was just waiting for you to catch up. Took me long enough, Cade admitted. Worth the wait, Lennox said. And it was. Because sometimes the best love stories start with rejection, continue with stubborn persistence, and end with 2 people who refuse to give up on each other, no matter how many times fear told them to walk away. And that's where our story ends today. What did you think? Did Lennox and Cade's story of persistence and love touch your heart? Let us know in the comments what your favorite moment was. If you enjoyed this story, we have so many more waiting for you. Check out our playlist for more heartwarming romance tales that will make you believe in love all over again. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. Your support means everything to us. Until next time, keep believing in love, keep believing in second chances, and remember, the best stories are the ones that remind us we all deserve our happily ever after. See you in the next story.